All right, obviously we are out here in San Diego, the convention center there in the shot, watching some of the trolleys go by. Just saw the Fox one with animation domination there. And it's that time of year that we come out multiple times and see what we can find and looking around. And so obviously as we're here a few weeks ahead of time, not a ton to find quite yet. But found a couple things, and we'll put some of those on social media as well. The weather is great here. It always seems to be pretty great, at least from where we come from, about an hour and a half north, where most days like this are high 80s, high 90s, sometimes 100. And always down here, even on the hot days, it feels a lot better than where we're coming from. So really nice. There's a very cool breeze, and it's pretty perfect. It's always one of the cool things about being out here. So yeah, in the weeks to come, we will definitely be sharing stuff. We'll maybe use this format a little bit more since we, like the rest of the world, have pretty much abandoned Periscope. So maybe we will use this, maybe Instagram Live as well. Yeah, definitely. That is the heat up there. So a couple things just from today, when we'll post probably some of them, but Amazon, which has now been announced for Expanse and The Boys and Carnival Row. We saw that they're going to start building, it looks like Friday night, Saturday morning, somewhere in there. At least people are going to start moving on site. There's signs up that everything closes down at the parking lot. Same spot as Jack Ryan last year, so if you checked that out, returning to the same spot, and it closes at 8 p.m. on Friday to start doing their work. So it's cool just to see the sign and imagine what that's all going to be. The unofficial San Diego Comic-Con blog put out a cool article today with lots more details there of what's going on. Besides that, made our way up to Horton Plaza, which is so dead. I know locals already know that, but I have not been up there since really last Comic-Con, and it looks really rough. Macy's was open and that organic shop, and that seemed about it. Even Walgreens was gone. So lots of room for Comic-Con offsites, but not much else going on up there at all. Saw in the Marriott that the Starbucks has moved and is a much larger Starbucks. It actually seems like that just happened, and it seems like it's going to be able to get a lot more people through than the old location. So good for those staying in the Marriott. And a couple of other areas that seem like they are starting to not really work on things like building, but are starting to clean and kind of organize and move out of spaces. So not sure which of those is Comic-Con related. It's always kind of one of my favorite things about this time of year, is just kind of seeing what is going to come up and what's happening and putting together that puzzle. Over here, obviously not a ton of trolleys set yet, but there is that one off in the distance. So make our way closer there. So we just thought we'd do one real quick just to see. This is the first time actually we've really done a YouTube Live really on anything related to Comic-Con stuff. So thought, well, let's try it once, see. And then as it gets busier, there's a lot more cool things to see. We'll do longer ones and more chats and things like that in the weeks to come. But for this one, any quick questions related to anything down here going on, or tips, or just anything Comic-Con at all? There is off in the distance, it just kind of flew by us there. All right. And obviously nothing being built over in this spot at all. It's always surprising, particularly last year, how many things come together like within the last 48 to 24 hours there. 24, 48, I should say. Some things much longer. Obviously, Amazon was building weeks and weeks and weeks ahead of time. our way down this way. There's again that. Yeah, looking pretty amazing. Although it'll look a lot more amazing as all Comic-Con stuff comes in there. But we do enjoy being down here as tourists to the area, a couple visits a year. Always feel like Comic-Con, even when it's not Comic-Con. Comic-Con, so tickets sell out. It really is like a year-long process to get into Comic-Con. So the really right now is kind of starting the process even for looking at 2020 weather compared to last year. But tickets run in that $200 range. About the weather this year, I mean, on our visits that have been down here so far, it's been a tad cooler in general. But I know for us, whenever we're traveling anywhere, we just start kind of watching that 10-day forecast, even sometimes a lot earlier. And that's definitely what we're doing now. I missed that message, but it looks like it was retracted. Yeah, so we started watching the weather. So we've been watching. I mean, it's been pretty much paradise down here in our few visits this year so far. But obviously, we have 3 weeks. It's crazy to think 3 weeks from tonight is preview night. So it is all coming pretty fast here. We did see a few spots, but we didn't post anything of that too, where it looked like potentially some of the people that are working on wraps are in town. And that's usually one of the first things you see really after the trolleys. Yeah, it is a beautiful day. Yes, so the bridge, good question. So the Hilton Bayfront is straight down here. And then obviously we've got the convention center off on the side. So yeah, you can head straight up the stairs there outside, or if you're in the hotel, just on the lobby floor there, you can make your way down this path and it'll take you directly over to Petco Park right here. And then what has been called the Petco Interactive Zone, I know that's what we still call it. Empty spot in the interactive zone. Got you, good to know. That last year was the experience, and it was kind of neat. The thing we liked about it last year is that it was open at night, so it gave some after hours things, because kind of I wouldn't say it's a complaint, because obviously any of these offsites, it's cool that the companies come out and do their thing, but it always seems odd that so many offsites, such a huge number of offsites, mimic the hours of the convention. So for those with badges, you're having to make that choice between those things of what you're doing. But the experience last year, it was really cool in that it was open after hours, so people could go and watch movies there. They had like beanbag chairs out and ice cream and whatnot going on after hours, so it was something that you were able to do after the con closed down. One thing, if you are making the journey of the bridge over, is do remember, once you come outside of the closed off area, which is over there on... all of that will be closed down right in front of the convention center there. But as you can make your way out here, you are no longer on, Comic-Con turf, but you have a lot of people trying to kind of be part of Comic-Con. In the old days, it was much more of just kind of the bigger off-sites and things like that. And now it is, people will be out selling food and drinks from carts, from blankets on the ground. There are several parts as you run along this whole way down to MLK Parkway that will kind of have a swap meet feel to them. So, just watch out in terms of a lot of times people kind of rushing into your face and trying to hand you things or get things from you. And sometimes they are, cool things like the Godzilla group was out here last year just kind of wandering and interacting with guests and talking about Monarch and stuff like that. And then other times it's just people, trying to push something on you, whether it's to sign a petition or it is to sell you something or whatever it might be. Also, make sure to check with your offsites just if they require badges. Most do not, but some do, and some give priority. So make sure to check in on those things as well. So, all right, with that said, I think we're going to start wrapping up. Last call for any questions. If not, we're going to keep this one quick. Go goal is to kind of do like a 10-minute one, and then in the future, especially as there's more stuff to share, we will walk. If you've not followed along with us before, we walk this whole thing. Last year we did 66 miles in the Monday, I think it was Monday through Friday that week leading up to Comic-Con, and then those first couple days of Comic-Con. So we put on a lot of mileage just walking this area and sharing photos, video of what's going on. So we love checking out all the offsites being built and anything else Comic-Con related. So we'll share that on this platform as well. So alrighty, if there are no other questions, we're going to end here. Thanks for tuning in. We do have a podcast up already on Comic-Con Prep if you're interested in that. We've got our website with stuff there. We've got YouTube videos. And then over at the unofficial San Diego Comic-Con blog, they have pretty much, I shouldn't say pretty much, they have like everything related to Comic-Con. I always feel like that's just an easy spot to go and get everything at once. And we do a lot of stuff with them too, and prep videos and all sorts of stuff. So keep an eye out on those spots, especially for the new people out there. And we'll see you next time.